Yo everybody, it's a pretty relaxing Saturday. I was playing some bass guitar today and I figured I'd tell you about my bass guitar. This is the only bass guitar I own. Although I would love to buy a 5-string P bass in the future, but it'll be a ways off before I do something like that. I like to call this bass my custom because it was originally built out of a bunch of custom bass guitar parts, but it's changed a little bit. So the body of this bass is the Mark Hoppus signature Fender Jazz P bass. So it's the Jazz body with the P bass pickup, and then it's got the flipped pickup. So Fender typically has the front piece of the P bass pickup towards the E and the A string, and then the back part of the P bass split pickup is on the D and the G string. Yamaha and Ibanez typically do it this way, and the idea is with this pickup this way, the D and the G sound just a little bit beefier than the E and the A would. So with this the other way, the E and the A are really beefy and the D and the G can be a little thin. And I like the way this sounds, but I do personally like Fender guitars. And that's why this guitar is so customizable, is because the Fender parts, you can just kind of mix and match what you need. Now speaking of this pickup, this is not the original pickup from the Mark Hoppus bass. This is the signature pickup from the Mike Dirnt of Green Day bass. It is beefy. I always have to like dial it back a little bit on the tone and sometimes on the volume to really actually make it sound like a regular P bass. It's beefy as all heck. The Mike Dirnt bass is really nice, but it's got a beefy baseball neck. It's thick, so I like it more with the jazz bass style neck, but the pickup is awesome. If you can get your hands on this Mike Dirnt pickup, I forget what it's like something, I don't know, but it's still wound even more than the like standard one you can buy from Fender. Now, most of these signature bass guitars just have a single volume knob. They typically don't have a tone knob, but what my brother and my dad were able to do with this body is put a stacked pickup. So on the top I've got volume and on the bottom I've got tone. So I still have the full control over this pickup that I normally would, even though the signature models don't typically do that. But I love the stack knob. The neck on this guitar, when my brother and my dad originally built it, was with the Geddy Lee signature neck. And that was really cool. The Geddy Lee jazz bass neck is super thin and super narrow. I think the idea is Geddy Lee typically plays bass, but also plays keyboards at the same time. So he wanted a neck so he could just like fret notes and have them ring pretty well while his right hand was playing keyboards. But this is now a 60s classic neck, jazz bass neck. So it's pretty thin, it's pretty easy to play. The weird thing is, because this is a classic 60s neck, the tuners are actually backwards. So the way that you would twist the tuner and think you would be going sharp, like on a contemporary bass tuner, it will go flat, and if you go flat, it goes sharp. So it's a little bit backwards. If I haven't played this bass in a while and I'm tuning it, it takes me a little while to figure out what I'm doing. This way is sharp and this way is flat, which is backwards from like any guitar or bass from the last 50 years. But yeah, if you've got some 60s, 50s and 60s basses tuned the wrong way, oh well. It still works really well. My brother and my dad originally built it, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but my brother no longer needed it or wanted it, and I thought it was such a unique bass. I was like, I'll take this off your hands. I want this. So I paid him whatever he was asking. I don't even remember now. It was quite a few years ago. And the 60s neck, you know, it doesn't feel as thin or as fragile as the Geddy Lee neck, which suited me well because I was playing bass out. I was filling in for bass for the band Amoret and the band the Jacktones for a while. Both guitar and bass, kind of just whatever was needed. Just kind of a jack of all trades musician for those bands. And this was the bass I would take and play. Both kind of rock subgenres like pop rock and like funk jazzy rock. So this bass worked really, really well for that. Obviously with COVID, I don't have a lot of opportunities to play out at all, but I don't have as many opportunities to play bass out as much. But it is a solid bass. I really enjoy it. You can't just buy this, but if you find yourself on like eBay or Reverb or something and come across a Mark Hoppus jazz style, jazz shape, but with a P bass pickup, it's really fun. Especially if you come across the Mike Dirnt signature pickup, grab that. This is a phenomenal pickup. The Geddy Lee neck is cool, but this classic 60s neck kind of suits me a little bit better. So that's my bass guitar. I'll have some other bass guitars to show you because there are some bass guitars that my dad and my brother own that are really cool. I will try to find an opportunity to show you those if you're interested in more bass guitar stuff. My bass guitar, you know, I'm just mainly a guitar player who happens to play bass, but I have a lot of fun with it. So that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.